With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
One of the most chilling elements of a fantasy story is the descent into darkness. Darkness is the realm of evil, where wicked powers have a home court advantage. But journeys into the dark have a way of bringing out the light, of forcing the actors of light to evolve and emerge stronger than when they entered the darkness. This is Lore of the Rings, episode number 92, and today we wander in the dark as we explore Bilbo Baggins' journey into darkness, as told in Chapter 5, Riddles in the Dark, of JRR Tolkien's The Hobbit. Let's wander. JRR Tolkien was, to my mind, a master storyteller. His tales of good versus evil are unmatched for their breadth and complexity, but also for their sense of truth, as if he were putting into words a sort of collective myth that we humans live out each day of our lives. One of the hallmarks of great fantasy is the journey in the dark. Journeys in the dark have a way of contrasting the light, as is hinted in this passage printed at the end of Tolkien's The Silmarillion. Quote, "It has passed from the high and the beautiful to darkness and ruin." The Lord of the Rings as a holistic work contains many and sundry experiences of descending into the dark. Here's just a sample that I could remember. Fog on the Borrowdowns in Fellowship of the Ring, where Frodo and his hobbit companions are lost in the darkness and the fog, and end up nearly being sacrificed in the darkness of an ancient cave by a Borrowite. A Knife in the Dark in Fellowship, where the embodiment of darkness wounds Frodo with a Morgul blade. The word Morgul itself contains the Elvish root for dark or black. And perhaps the most well-known journey into the darkness from the Fellowship, the chapter actually called A Journey in the Dark, where Gandalf leads the company through the mines of Moria, once a place of light and wealth, now a tomb of the dead and home to a spirit of flame and fear, a Balrog. Soon after, Gandalf plunges into darkness and will later return with greater power. In The Two Towers, we go with Frodo and Sam into the darkness of Shelob's lair, Shelob being the spawn of the great spider monster who literally sucked the light of the two trees into darkness. In The Return of the King, we follow Aragorn and the Grey Company into the paths of the dead, where only Aragorn's sheer force of will is enough to bring his company through and convince the dead to fight. These experiences with the dark are defining moments in our characters' journeys. It's in the dark where our heroes must confront evil in the place where evil thrives the most. The dark is far from the sun, which the Valar created and sent forth as a hindrance to the wicked deeds of Morgoth, Sauron, and their servants. It's in the dark where heroes must decide who they will be. Do they succumb to the temptations or power of evil? Do they wander into deadly paths, becoming lost and aimless in the dark, selfish labyrinths that only evil creates? It's in the dark where the story is won. There, in the dark, heroes find their courage, overcome their fears, and find an inner strength, even an inner light, and confront evil. So let's explore Bilbo's descent into the dark. The word dark in various forms appears over 20 times throughout this chapter. We open the chapter with Bilbo opening his eyes, but the darkness is so deep that, quote, he wondered if he had, for it was just as dark with them shut. That darkness will persist throughout the following pages. But there's something else that comes along with the darkness, a numbness, a void, a feeling of nothingness. Quote, he could hear nothing, see nothing, he could feel nothing, nor can he, quote, find anything, nothing at all. In that moment of darkness, nothingness, and fear, Bilbo makes a chance discovery. Quote, Suddenly his hand met what felt like a tiny ring of cold metal lying on the floor of the tunnel. This seemingly fortunate discovery will have serious implications for Bilbo, and later for Frodo and all who oppose the gathering dark. Bilbo is out of matches, which has the double depressing effect because not only can't he light his pipe, he lacks material to start a warm, light-producing fire. But he finds something else, his little sword from the troll cave, which turns out to be the first faint source of light. Quote, "It shone pale and dim before his eyes. So it is an elvish blade too," he thought, "and goblins are not very near, and yet not far enough." But somehow he was comforted. This little bit of light, from an ancient elvish blade made in Gondolin, provides comfort. Knowing that the goblins fear such blades gives Bilbo a bit of courage as well. With the faint light from his sword, Bilbo decides to go on, led by its light. This is not the last dark tunnel that the sword's sting will guide a hobbit through. As I mentioned before, Frodo and Sam also have that sword as they attempt to cross Shelob's lair. The similarities between these two dark journeys are striking, but perhaps more so are the differences. Bilbo is alone, while Frodo and Sam are supported by their friendship. And Bilbo has not yet encountered the slimy golem at the very deepest, darkest roots of the mountain, rather than Frodo and Sam following Gollum into the darkness. Yet in both instances, all hobbits were led from light that has its roots in the ancient elven city of Gondolin. For Bilbo, he takes courage knowing that his sword is from Gondolin. As we've covered here before, these blades gave a faint blue light when orcs are near. This same light is what Bilbo and the dwarves followed when Gandalf rescued them from the Great Goblin. For Frodo and Sam, they carry with them the light of Eärendil, the star. Eärendil was a mortal man, born in Gondolin, to Tuor the man and Idril the elf maiden. Eärendil is the father of Elrond and of Elros, from whom Aragorn is descended. How profound then is Sam's comment that the great tales never end, and they are in the same tale still. Eärendil inherited the Silmaril that Beren and Luthien reclaimed from Morgoth. With that Silmaril, he convinced the Valar to intervene. He was provided a ship made of mithril and rose to the sky. As we read in the Silmarillion, when his ship, quote, was set to sail in the seas of heaven, it rose unlooked for, glittering and bright, and the people of Middle-earth beheld it from afar and wondered, and they took it for a sign and called it Gil Estel, the Star of High Hope. The theme of darkness is manifested even in the riddle game between Bilbo and Gollum. And notice who provides which riddle. First is the riddle of light. The answer is a sun shining on daisies. This riddle is given by Bilbo, and is a struggle for Gollum, who, quote, was forgetting this sort of thing. Interesting to note, though, that Gollum is not so far gone that he no longer remembers the sun and its light. But the very next riddle, given by Gollum, is a riddle of darkness, and quite easy for Bilbo to guess. He's surrounded by darkness, but beyond that, Bilbo recognizes that he is surrounded by darkness. He knows what darkness is, because he can contrast it with light. But will he remain in the darkness, or will he return to the light? And if so, can he return without being changed? We'll get to that right after this break. We're not done yet. If you like this episode, please leave a review and share with your friends. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be right back.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
In the deep, dark caves of the mountain, in a riddle game with Gollum, Bilbo is in a mental liminal space, standing between light and dark. Does he choose to remain in the dark like Gollum, or will he rise back to the light? At first it seems that Bilbo will lean in and accept the darkness. While Gollum searches for his lost ring, quote, utterly miserable as Gollum sounded, Bilbo could not find much pity in his heart. But it's when Gollum blocks Bilbo's path that we see Bilbo's true courage. He has a chance to kill Gollum, to slash him with his sword. He's invisible. Gollum would never know. Just like all those goblins that Gollum had killed when he was invisible. Bilbo considers it for just a moment. He could kill Gollum. But not so. Some Hobbit sense influences him. Bilbo makes a different choice. Quote, he must get away out of this horrible darkness. And Gollum was miserable, alone, lost. A sudden understanding, a pity mixed with horror, welled up in Bilbo's heart. A glimpse of endless unmarked days without light or hope of betterment. Hard stone, cold fish, sneaking and whispering. All these thoughts passed in the flash of a second. He trembled, and then quite suddenly in another flash, as if lifted by a new strength and resolve, he leaped. This passage is so illuminating to me. Where Bilbo had no pity before, he is suddenly and surprisingly filled with understanding. So much so that it scares him. He sees through Gollum's eyes, if just for an instant, miserable, alone, endless, without hope. This sudden understanding, pity, or dare I say, empathy, not only saves Gollum from Bilbo's blade, it also saves Bilbo from being a slave to the One Ring. Bilbo is the only one in the history of the ring so far to begin his possession of the ring not with war, bloodshed, or murder, but rather with empathy and pity. For this reason, Bilbo is also the only one who would ever willingly give up the ring, a crucial advantage for Frodo. This choice, this one empathy-filled choice, is the choice that saves Middle-earth from succumbing into darkness. An unexpected choice made by an unlikely hobbit in the deep darkness of the mountain, far from the light of the sun, far from accountability, far from his friends. It's no wonder, then, that Bilbo is filled with a new inner strength. Quote, and then quite suddenly, in another flash, as if lifted by a new strength and resolve, he leaped. He leaped so high, in fact, that he almost hits his head against the ceiling of the cave. Bilbo is made new. He is no longer the hobbit he was when he left Bag End, nor when he first fell into darkness. His confrontation with evil has filled him with pity and understanding, which in turn has given him a new strength. But he is not entirely unscathed. His brief sojourn in the darkness has made him more sensitive to light. He, quote, came suddenly right into an open space, where the light, after all that time in the dark, seemed dazzlingly bright. Really, it was only a leak of sunshine. Also, he is beginning to become unhealthily attached to the ring. Instead of grabbing his sword, he now puts on the ring in, quote, a pang of fear and loss, like an echo of Gollum's misery. Bilbo continues to run to the sunlight, getting stuck in the door as it closes, but eventually he escapes. The goblins can't follow him, for, quote, they don't like the sun. It makes their legs wobble and their heads giddy. Also, Bilbo is keen to not be fully in the sun, as he darts from shadow to shadow, quote, keeping out of the sun. So, has his journey into the dark fully resolved Bilbo to follow the light? Or is it more complicated than that? I'll leave that for you to decide. Join me next time, where we compare Chapter 5 with its on-screen portrayal in Peter Jackson's The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Thanks for wandering Middle-earth with me today. My friends, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing with your friends. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Lore of the Rings Podcast. For feedback on the show, please email me using the link in the show notes. Until next Thursday, remember, not all those who wander are lost.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.